I'll keep doubling, you keep bluffing. You've got nothing, I'll keep hustling.
How's it, guys? Welcome to Crypto MC. Today we're going to be live trading. My name is Rudo, also known as the chart artist, and I don't have my trade buddy Fibonacci Lee with me today. That being said, it's just going to be me and you guys looking for a live trade. I've got Ethereum, and I think this is going to be the bugger that I want to try and long or short today. And so the idea is to try and get either get a long or get a short. It's been ranging beautifully. I like the range. It is showing me that it more wants to be to the downside. I still have this target here, and I want to try and get a more, try and get into that area over there. So before we dive into this, still not quite ready there. Let's quickly see who we have in the comment section. Right, guys. Hello, hi, each and every one of you. It's just me, so if the comments comes out a little bit delayed, what I have to talk chart and then look at the comments, so bear with me, guys. And it's quite in the afternoon over here, so I'm not going to sit with the curtains closed and the lighting and stuff, so excuse me if the lighting looks bad, but I don't like living in a cave or trading in a cave. I'm going to bring up my screen because at the end of the day, that is what you guys want to do. And then let's take it from there. Righto. Let's quickly see. Hello, 8PE. Welcome. Hello. So yes, we don't need to hurry into this because I'm kind of waiting for the trade to come in. Good evening from Thailand as well. Good evening to you. It's getting quite late there now, isn't it? Is it still evening? And I think I've got, let's quickly see. Joe, yes, buddy, you're dead to me. You're dead to me. He's checking to say hi. He's off enjoying himself, and I'm sitting here alone. So I don't know, buddy. You may be dead to me for a little bit later on. We've got another stream at 8, and then Joe will be on there. So then by then I will have forgiven him. Let's quickly see. How's it, guys? Hello. Right, so while everybody's finding their feet, look, Dave, we're gonna look for this one. So let me quickly give you a little bit of the background for why I want to try and trade this today and tonight, and why I feel that it can't wait. You kind of need to get the position in, and there's always going to be a case of where we need to take the risk. That's the shitty thing. You need to take the risk, whether you like it or not. There's going to be risk somewhere, and there's going to either be a loss or we're going to be sitting in and make some money. Now, I have to say, I want to bring this up. I've got our Jinxed account with me because this thing, I don't know, I'm going to trade this one as well. So I've got the Jinxed account here, and I've got my Bybit competition account here as well. So I'm going to be trading those two accounts with you guys. So I'll be in the exchanges live. It's not personal accounts. So I'll be placing the orders with you so that you guys can see how I go about it. And then if we make money, we make money. That's the important thing tonight. And if we don't, well, hopefully we learn something and make money a little bit later on. But I'm not going to just give up on the first attempt. I'm going to ladder in a couple of buys because I think we're gonna nail a big one tonight. So I just got that tingling in me. So that being said, let's move in here. I want to quickly show you guys this one. So this is Ethereum on the daily. And my goal is to try and trade a short down to there. That's it. Not to try and do too much. I'm not aiming for, the 1100s or 800 or breakout. I want to look at this area here. We shared this on the YouTube yesterday. The session over here, I think it was this one. We shared it over there and explained how I wanted to trade this. And the argument is if I can get that short down, I will then be able to leave that one and maybe turn it into a swing. The reason for this is if I go onto the weekly, onto the daily, where's my weekly chart? Seems to have moved up everything. But okay, if I go onto the daily, no, this is the weekly, sorry. If I go onto the weekly, what we are getting over here is a hidden demand, a hidden supply zone. And when we get these hidden supply zones, the argument is that you will have if you use your 50% tool, you have your 50% tool already, you'll have price go to that range and then continue back on. That's the significance of this area. So that's why I want to try and get that trading, because if we want to short, remember, nothing goes up in a straight line, nothing comes down in a straight line as well. We've had a big move on the way down, and we've now gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue weeks for Ethereum. Now, Ethereum the Fibonacci numbers on these sequences normally work then. It's as 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, and then 8. So we're sitting in a situation where we can either break this level because we're now in the week 6. We just closed week 6. And we can then look at that as either this one being a consolidation week, which means 1 to 2. The fact of the matter is the way that I'm seeing this is there's a lot of green. There's due for a little bit of a correction. You can go and have a look at this as well. There's a lot of 6s, 7s, and so forth, 8s. But after that, you tend to want to have a little bit of a correction. And so if I can hedge a short off the supply zone, maybe to this level here, 12.97 even, if it goes that low. You don't know how crazy the market can become. If it goes that low, I want to try and hold that one. That said, this is now the idea for the short. That said, I am, however, going to hedge that idea with trying to get along around this area. There's some really nice structure there, but that needs to get tested. And the idea is to look for around 1738 for a test around that level. So say I'm wrong. So I'm completely wrong. We're not going to short and we're not going to go down. But this is going to be the area where I would want to see Ethereum bounce. Now, where do I want to see it bounce? If it goes, well, at least minimum to 2177. Get rejected at around that level. That would be a fair area for rejection. Come and consolidate back at 1975, and then we can maybe move on to our next level. We also have interesting tools, but I'll show you the tools later on for additional support and resistance levels. And the reason why I want to do this with you guys live as well is I want to take these levels by levels with you so that we can track this chart over the next week or so, and you guys can see how we go about it. So if we can get a nice swing in, and even if it's a nice swing and it's on leverage, how does it get better than that? I would say. Right. So that said, let's see, there's more people jumping in here. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. Depends on where you are. Canada, it's like lunchtime now. I imagine I'm doing head maths ever so quickly. Yes, it's close to lunch, close to 12 there. So that's the goal. So if we now take this big picture away and we start looking at the structure over here, this is the 5-minute structure that I'm going to try and trade. But what I will do is I'm going to first look at my momentum on the 1 hour. We looked at the 4 hour the other day, and what we said was we looked at the 4 hour on Monday. The other day is Monday. At that stage, there wasn't any structure to play out, but now we have structure, and you can easily see what is significant for this 4 hour. That level there is quite significant. Price wants to stay above that range, and I can put it through and actually look at this as well. So I can make this line, maybe let's go for green, just because. I'm just going to sync this line on all the layouts. Okay, see, so price tends to want to hover around this area. So this is support. So if I actually now go and label this as Okay. If I label that as my support and I move back onto the 5 minute, now you can see the confluence. We're sitting in a situation where I've got higher time frame areas giving me a reason to be interested in. You want to buy when it's on support, you want to sell when it's on resistance. So I'm going to try and look at this 5 minute setup that I've got here and try and see if I can either short this thing down to here. And then if it fails, we go all the way down, because then that would be a nice swing if you think about it, because I will be able to probably use 0.2 of a risk. I'll be able to go 10x on this one. Now, if I go 10x, that's a 40%. That's a good trade. Okay, so that's the one idea. The other one is if it consolidates and stays above this area and we come back down, we don't go below that 1875. That's going to be my cue to long this thing. So we're going to have to take both sides. Long it, because then I will have a risk of 0.7. So that would be about a 4x, maybe a 5x trade. And if I long this, the goal would be to at least take that 5x back to top of the range, just around this area here. And that would be, what's it? 12.5% on a 5x. So it's still going to be some good swings that we're going to get. So that's the idea around this area. So I hope that this gives you, please give clear entry prices. There's no entry at the moment. I'm just explaining the setup, because after the stream is done, we might not even be, we might be leaving the trade open so that you can understand the method behind the madness, where we want to go with this. Okay, so that's it. Back to the 5 minute, and now I'm going to want to try and hunt for this entry. I can scale this up to the 15 minute, and at the moment, you know, the data is pretty much the same on the 15 and on the 5. What we do have here is we've got a structure formed there and there. I'm just going to change the colors on this. Maybe make it teal, so that's not confusing there. And possible rejection point would be around, you see now there's confluence around that area as well. So we're going to have to wait and see for price to decide where it wants to go. When it gets to around 1892, I'm going to try and ladder in my first short. So the goal is to have my positions filled between this area, and then if we break down lower, so that I'm pretty much, when we go below this level and we start making a lower low, I'm all in, which means then if price comes back to this area, I can use whatever we had momentum wise to take some profit here and then add to that positions, make it even bigger, because then by then this one would be in good profit. I can take some of that profit and park it in there. And the idea is that we do something, try and trade something like this, but now I don't want to see us move back in the range. Okay, so I hope everybody's got the idea. Just let me know, give me a 777 in the chat if you're on par with the goal and the game plan that I'm trying to look. So that's the short, and then obviously I'm going to backspace. The long is going to play out a little differently. We can still reject here, we can reject there, we can even reject over here. I'm fine with that. The idea is then I would want to try and see price come back to this range over here, and that's going to be the goal for the long. Okay, so while we're here, which direction do you prefer? Let me know. Long or short? Let me know. Let me quickly see where you guys are at. Yeah, I'm going to quickly take a sip of water. Maybe put on some generic background music. I'll put it soft, so if you've got your own music playing, your music can at least get over sound over it. Which one do we use? we use this one. I think it's this one. There we go. Okay. Almost sounds like a Grand Theft, not Grand Theft, Gran Turismo background music. For those that do a little bit of gaming. All right, let's quickly see. So I've got short, 2, 3 shorts, and long, 3 long. So it's kind of 50-50. So we'll probably go both. What do you guys say? And then let's see, do you think, or maybe we'll go and test the range. A little bit of spelling mistakes there where I can't really get the thing there, just maybe retype. Buddy, the big screen, if you're on a phone or on a small area, it's a bit of a problem. As us traders, we tend to want to have a little bit of a more bigger screen. I hope that if I do this, it will help. Just let me know. The price targets are there. Maybe I can do for you is, see if I can zoom in on the toolbar. Just gonna now delay a bit, see if I can get the text on the frame a bit bigger, if that helps. Okay, let me know. So if you were to short mid-top range and it comes and touches the bottom of the range, would you open a long to edge? Yes, the idea is to try and I'm not too keen on touches, because remember, a touch can end up doing this then. What do you run with it? I kind of want to see structure form. So I want to play off structures back and forth. I don't want to try and gamble too much. That's why when we look at the 5 minute, you can see that there was a clear structure forming. And there's an area where we get above that level, I can then action in the trade. So we're going to work with open and close candles as well. And that's quite important. You want to see candle open and close, because then that kind of confirms it in. And then just as an interesting side note, while we're on the subject of structure, the reason why the 50%, I really like the 50%. It's kind of, if I were to say to you guys, I want to ask you guys to buy my mountain bike, and I start off with a price, and I say $1,000, and you counter with $500. Please let me know that by the counter of $500, where is both of us thinking we're going to be averaging as a fair compromise? Let me know. I want 1,000, you counter with 500. Where do you think are we going to try and settle as a fair compromise for the sale of my mountain bike? And while I wait for you guys to put in your idea of where would be fair, I'm going to just quickly run through a few more comments, because we're using StreamYard and it's always delayed. So when I talk and by the time you hear it, there's a big difference. But I see the comments coming in now. 750-ish, 750, yes. Halfway. Meet me halfway. That's normally the thing. Yeah, maybe 800 can be fair, but I mean, that's the thing. Meet me halfway. And because it's people's emotions playing in an area, you're always going to have that argument. Well, if the current range is saying 1900 and the bottom of that range is saying 1872, what is halfway? Because that's kind of where people's going to want to say, okay, so this is maybe fair. And if you buy something halfway, you're going to say, that's okay, I maybe got a good buy. And that's a psychology that you just need to keep in mind between. So if I want to sell my mountain bike and actually want to get a good price, what do I not want to do? I don't want to go to the market and say 750 straight up, because somebody's going to then lowball me. I'm going to want to try and get it as high as possible to the 1,000 so that I can walk away with some profit. Simple as that. Right. So that's the mindset behind this. So I'm going to zoom back in, buddy. I know it might be small for you, but I can barely see with all the lines in there. Just want to try and get this back to 100. I think you've got the targets lined out now, and let's quickly see what prices do. Okay, so at this stage, bearish structure. We left this area over here, big sell-off. So for me, all fairness, we're going to be bouncing at probably at around 1876. So that's going to be the first area we're going to want to try and long. So 1875 thereabout. So just going to clean this up and clean this up. We are moving towards that area. So let's see what it does. Now, a nice tip that I always use when we have a bearish engulfing candle, the body of the candle that beats this area normally would be the one that I would use. So I'll flip to the 15-minute, look at that, and there's the body of the candle. And that would be the area where I would target that range there, because that's where the money, the injection of the move initiated. And then from there onwards, it kind of petered out. Okay, so that's going to be the goal, the target goal. Let's see what happens. And then obviously short, that's going to be the area there to try and get that for now. So now we have to kind of sit on our hands and wait for these two areas to cook in. What we can do is we can obviously, I can jump over to my exchange and start filling in the areas so that I can act when the time is appropriate. That's what I'm going to be doing. Obviously, I've got a lot of buttons and toggles that I'm keeping my eyes on, so I'm just going to slowly start getting those in. So I want to limit buy, and I'm going to try and get my price in there, 1875, and I'll bring this up so you guys can see. Do this, and I want to try and get my stop. I don't want to be holding past this range here, because you open yourself up for crazy chop. That will probably come back, but what if it never comes back? So that's going to be a strict area where I'm going to want to look at there. So the idea is then, if I move over here, I want to put a stop limit, and I'm going to want to try and get that hidden around at 1872, 1871. So let's go 1871, not a quarter level. Something that I always looked at, and because this is the first stab at it, I'm not going to try and get the leverage amount too high. This is a $300 account, so the loss that I would want to try and get around that area is maybe $3, as it's the first trade. So I'll just run this up until it gets to about $3 for this one, which means that I've got two more positions to ladder in once this is done. This is now really taking forever. Here we go, $3.15. That seems to be okay. So there's the limit order. No man, I didn't lock this in. So with Prime, you can lock in your 71. You lock it in. There's a little lock there, and then you can adjust everything else, and it stays. The stop limit stays there. It's important that you do that, and if you just increase my limit there, then that will probably be quicker. That's good for now. Okay, so that's going to be the first one that I want to try and get in there. Let's see what price is doing now. 5 minutes looking good for the pushback. I'm going to check the comments. That's what Raul Paul said. Maybe just, I don't know exactly where you burst at, but maybe you can just help me. Okay, so I'm going to quickly read through yours, Nicholas. Sorry, now that we are back in the range and have taken out Monday's low, I think we may see price take out range highs. All the late shorts from the weekend, but of course it's level to level. Yes, it's level to level, buddy. The thing, part of the negotiation as well, the 750 that I was talking about. The argument is that there's always going to be different ulterior motives playing out in the chart. People want to long, people want to short, and if you really want to trade, you kind of want to almost ignore the bias, because trading purely is making dollars. I want to just make money. I don't really care about anything else. If I can get that dollar in my account, I don't care whether it's a short or a long, whether it's going to fit the bias and sweep the highs and the lows. I'm trying to get into the market and plan for both contingencies. What I don't want to do is just jump in the market now and open a long or short, because you're not going to get anywhere. You want to try and get a long at the bottom, you want to try and get a short in at the top. And because we're moving into an area where there's going to be a little bit of a middle fight, the ideal area where I would start looking for the shorts is going to be around that range. And the ideal area where I start looking for the long for now is going to be at that range, because we're below the half line of this whole structure. Okay. That being said, my personal bias is to the short at the moment. If I look at the way that the structure is forming, let's maybe do this sideways as well, because the structure is forming and it's showing us that it's still trending down, and bigger time frames are still trending down. Okay. Right, and then this is the part of trading where it can become really boring, guys, because now we wait. All we can do is wait. While we do that, I'm just going to set my Bybit one as well. Same price. $171873. Okay. Idea is the risk is going to be about 0.4, so I can go 6x. So I can go 50% of the position on a 10x leverage, should give me about the same amount of risk. Each exchange is always different. And then one. Take profit, interim take profit will be back at, I'm going to try and get it, if I get the long, start taking some profit around 1886. Okay. Okay, so both of them are pretty much set, ready to go. Okay, so now we wait. Let's quickly see. Do I have to keep an eye on the RSI at the trading time frames? Look, I use the RSI, but not always. Price action trading, we kind of want to play from structure to structure. And for me, if I look at this and I use this structure as where we're at now, you will always be able to kind of BS the levels in view the way you would want it. But if I look at this range now as well, saying that that is the shakeout for the structure, yet again there's confluence around that 50% level there. So that's more than what I need. So I don't really need to worry too much about RSIs oversold and so forth. Bigger picture, if I'm trying to predict what's going to happen, obviously I will use this a bit more, because then I can try and see whether there's bullish divergence, bearish divergence, and so forth. Let's just quickly switch off all this, just make it a straight up RSI. And then what I can do is I can use that. I just want to make sure I do select the right one. 40. Okay. And so yeah, so that's the kind of thing that I'll be waiting for on a bigger picture. Smaller picture does work, but price action wise, I don't really trade that much. Okay. Do I ever use the MACD? Not really. I did use the MACD in the beginning. I actually still have the template saved. I'm gonna open a new tab. Basically, this is how I traded way back when I started. There was a guy I followed to try and figure out what he was doing. So then I would replicate their layouts completely, and I actually still have them saved open. So he used the Bollinger Band strategy. So I'm just going to switch to logarithmic out. So that's the way he had it. So I had the Bollinger Band saved as a template. So if there's a Bollinger Band, and let's go on to the 5 minutes. The Bollinger Band basically means that you're going to get a big breakout, a big spike when the band starts narrowing. Now, at the end of the day, that can be a level, and this can now be the narrow, and hopefully we'll move down, and that's the narrow. What I don't ever want to do, and that's why I quite like where we are going to buy now, is that's the moving average, the 20 moving average on this Bollinger Band for 5 minutes. So you want to try and get below that. See there, you want to buy that shake up. The problem with using any indicators, or not the MACD as such, but if you start using it, it's always delayed. So but looking backward, it's amazing. I should have done this, I could have done this, and woulda, coulda, shoulda. And it kind of just messes you up going forward. Where price action, you're in the now. I'm waiting for that level. That's it. Irrespective of what the line will print afterwards. And it's like driving by only using your rear view mirrors. If you're using an indicator, it's nice to look at momentum, big time frame stuff, and using it as a reference. But it's a tricky thing to try and trade on it, especially if you even go into smaller time frames. I mean, when we trade heavy leverage, I'll go 1 minute. So if I look at this now, this basically indicator is telling me to leave it alone. So understand your indicator, understand the limitations, and then use it from there. But okay, to get back to the point, this is neither here nor there. That's basically the one that I used. Then I had the Ikimoku strategy that I used a lot, and there we had the MACD. So the MACD is shifting me now to momentum is running out to the upside. So now basically what I would want to see with the MACD is momentum getting around there. So when we start falling into this buy level here, it's moving in there. And then you've got the Ikimoku version where I don't know the name so well, guys. I think it's a TK line or whatever the conversion line. That's support sitting right there where we want to buy. So now Ikimoku is giving me confidence about that level. But the Ikimoku cloud has got a problem here, because we're already flipping bearish cloud here. So you would want to try and see that, and it needs to break through this cloud. It's a thin cloud, so it should, if it does. And then you want to see if it try and trade it up. Edge to edge, I don't know all those different strategies, but that's basically just what I used. So that's how I used the MEXC. Basically plugged it in with all these lines, and I used to trade the shit out of all these lines and not make any money. So when I stopped bullshitting myself and just looked at the price action, that's kind of when I play. It's different for each and every one of you guys. Everybody needs to find their feet and then their way. And sometimes, an indicator is a brilliant tool for trading, just to keep you in par, knowing what to do and what to do. That's it. Okay. Going through the comments again, guys. Yes, get back in some crypto now. It's a good time to get back. Nobody's interested in crypto anymore. So definitely a good time to get in there. I've actually never used the B-Web, to be honest with you. Somebody needs to teach me how to use it. So any of you guys want to, you're welcome to do so. Nasdaq is pumping, so that's good for BTC and ETH. I hope so. That's the idea. So if we can get that sneaky one in, the limit orders are placed, that would be amazing. I don't know anything about inducement models, Kyle. Kaylee. It's Kaylee, sorry. I destroyed your name. I apologize. I don't know anything about that. Sorry. Shout out to Big Chats. Well, shout out to Big Chats then. There you go. Let's see, also over the Chats call group, signal is long. Okay, so guys are talking. Like kale, like spinach. Okay, cool. Thanks for helping me out there. I appreciate it. I won't get it wrong again. All right, then. Okay, so now we wait. How long you guys been trading? Come on, bananas. Let me know how many months you guys been listening. And for anybody that's jumping in, you guys, we're trying to just get a live setup going here for Ethereum. We've got our limit orders in. We're trying to get in at around 1875. We want to try and trade back to 1892. 1886 would also be good if we can get that. So start TPing around that range if we don't make a higher high. 4 years full time. Well done, Kion. So maybe I must just hand over to you. Can I send you the link and you come and do it for us? I can sit back and see how you do it. So don't worry about me destroying your name. You were in an Afrikaans school and you've given up on correcting all your friends. Kyle. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. I've got a weird Rudo, so sometimes I have to kind of be okay with people calling me Rudy or Rudolph or versions of Rudo. So it does happen. So 2 years Forex and 1 year crypto full time. Well done, Trayvon. YouTube user, 3 months here. That's good. I love the first few months because that's when I really made money and I didn't have any worry. Because I didn't understand what I was doing. I was just thinking I'm smarter than everybody else. And the charts just agreed with me beautifully. And then I thought, well, let's get even smarter. And then I screwed up trading for me. Because then I started getting into my head, what must I do? Why is this candle not printing the way it should print? And then I ended up just destroying my account for months at an end. Till eventually I kind of stumbled on, I think it was Mark Douglas, a pirated copy, nevertheless, of his book. And it just put it in context of how, there is actually no control over how this thing moves. And any TA that tells you it's going to predict what's going to happen next, basically just BS. It doesn't exist. The idea is to look at the structure, ladder in and ladder out always. You know, it's like going to the casino. You don't put all the money you want to spend that day in one hand and say, let's go. You take a little bit, you know, and the same, that's what you need to do. So we'll take a little snippet of a buy, then another snippet of a buy, till we get, you know, confirmation it's really going strong, and the same for the short. LRC, thanks, sorry, missed join late. I'll see if I can check LRC a little bit later. I kind of want to see this ETH going in now. Everybody wreck their accounts. I'm telling you now, that's your pass, your pass rate into trading. You know, if you wrecked your account now, you're allowed to join the club. Until then, you know, it's not fair. You know, you're not allowed to be making money just yet. I might be sounding very mean, but I mean, I think it's a necessary evil that everybody needs to go through. Okay, so I'm just going to clean up this. And what I like to do as well when I trade, guys, is a little top tip, just put a little bit of perspective next to your screen. You know, if something starts looking too bullish on the say this thing starts looking too bullish, that's your daily, that's your perspective, just to keep you grounded on what it is you're trying to do. You know, the same here for the 4 hour. So if you want to get too bullish, okay, it's good, nothing wrong with that. But that's your perspective. That's what you've got working for. That structure doesn't tell me bullish. That structure tells me, hey, there's, you know, you need to think about this. So that's the reality. So we do have a range, and we can chop within that range and maybe go up and at certain levels. But we are trading in a very scary part of a 4 hour and on a daily structure. And but now, just to add to that context, the weekly tells me, hey, come on, you can do way more. So that's the weekly context. And that's why I like to do this, just move the charts around, just get a little bit of context of what it is I'm doing. And then I can actually step away, do something, come back, and I kind of just reminded of where and what it is I'm looking at. Gal, the short will still come. For now, we're just moving in a direction. For the long, I'll get my entry. I want to see how the price structure forms at around this range. I don't necessarily want to blind buy around that area, because what we do find with this one at this moment, you know, the moves are quite aggressive. So I want to wait for that around that price and then get the short. The long, on the other end, you know, it dips in there. You've got big wicks there. It's being bought up. You can see that even on the bigger time frame, it is being bought up. So that's why I'll limit order the long, market execute the short. Where's the music at? Yeah, buddy. I wish I could play the music that I want to listen to, or something that you guys want to listen to. But now it's the StreamYard generic tunes here in the background. You actually need to, when I'm off stream, actually go and look for YouTube royalty-free music. That's actually quite decent that you can use. I always say I want to, but I never do. Yeah. Slow, boring music for now. I apologize. Yes, Nicholas, I want to ladder in and ladder out always. That's the idea. You build a position. You same with being stopped out. I don't just draw a hard line there and a hard line there, and that's it. This is my first position. I'm using a third of what I want to spend. So if I get stopped out, I'm only losing 1% of my portfolio, either. So at the end of the day, I can take these hits every day until I get that one that sticks. When I get the one that sticks, say this was the short, say I wanted to short there, I shorted there and I got stopped out. There's an additional area. Now I've got one that sticks. So that's the idea. Don't go full on blind, and just grab it. I always like to try and get myself in. I'm a lazy ass trader, so if I can get a good position and sit on it for a week, I'll do it. That's kind of my way of trading. But yeah, that's it. Evening, Matty. Little bit of dozy. Yeah, that would be nice. Play some guitar, bro. Listen, I bought the thing on an impulse. I can play, but that thing has not been tuned. And and I've never, since we've moved down here now, a little bit of a soft immigration, I've never even unboxed the guitars yet. They're still in the garage, which is sin. So I'll get to it probably soon. For now, the big worry or the big energy was getting the YouTube going, getting the premium group ticking over nicely, and then I'll start trading and playing guitar, because I used to do it a lot. When you sit here, now I've got you guys to talk to. I wish we could talk back and forth. But then normally what I would do when I'll just play guitar while I wait for the candles to print, because staring at candles is a horrible thing to do. I hate spending my day looking at candles, to be honest with you guys. Goes down the market. I bought ADA at 41 cents. Felt in really good in the next weeks. Okay. Well done, buddy. How long have you been playing? I started playing at varsity. There was a girl that I liked. She had a guitar in her room, and that was my in. So I said, "Teach me how to play guitar." And 2 weeks later on, she sent me home with the guitar. I kind of lost interest in the girl. I just kept on playing guitar. So yeah, it's been years and years and years. Right, so now we're waiting. You can see how significant these structures are. So hopefully we get that little dip in there. This is bearish, that is bearish, and so we still have time. Are you playing sing in bars? Well done. I don't have the guts. I don't think I'd have the voice either. So. Just £60. What is my bias? Trading wise, my order just got filled, so my bias is I wanted to go up and make money. But the reality is, big picture, I'm still looking at that relief value. So what I like is when price comes in, it just takes the limit order, pulls it, and then goes. But now when I look on Prime XBT, it didn't fill. And if I go on to Bybit, it didn't fill either. So why is this one filling? What am I using here? I'm using Bybit. Oh, this is the spot. Be careful. I've got the spot chart open here. Okay, so now I should get my order filled. No, not yet. Bring up this. Still waiting for that order to get filled there. And the same here, it's very close to it, so we should get our stab in there any second now. So let's see. No, dude, I like Joseph Liani. How would you trade momentum on a low time from, for example, like the Doge breakout? Well, the thing is, you're either going to be lucky, you're going to be in it, or you're going to be sitting with spot with it. But the trick is, a lot of people, forget to look at is that when you look at where is that Shiba Inu? When you look at this is the wrong chart. Oh, I hate it when I do this. Now I have to get this back. I hate when TradingView does this. This is Solana. Bybit trading, MEXC. Okay, so when we have this, see our order is being filled now. So let's see what it does. So when we have price like this, I mean, your guess is as good as mine whether this is going to be the one that hits or that's going to be the one that hits. And then when I get in and get out, I don't get in and all out always, because at the end of the day, if you look at this, if that was your target to try and take profit around that area or to take profit around this area, you would be sitting and crying now, because I mean, look at this. There's the next range where you would try and trade your long towards. So even if you longed around that area, that would be your TP1, TP2, and TP3. So boom, 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 that would be an amazing run. But if you just try to scalp, that would probably be your TP1 and that would be your TP3 around that area. Will be out. And sometimes it happens where you're in the best move of the week or the month even, and you short TP that. That's just life. Just grow on with it. There's no real recipe to prevent yourself from doing that, especially if you're not sitting and checking the one, because nobody knew that this thing's going to rally that high, to be honest with you. Let's get back to this chart of mine. Let's see what it's doing. Okay, cool. Both my orders are in. Okay, so let's see what's Bybit doing now. Okay, so now I kind of want to see this thing roll. Otherwise, it's going to take my $1 now, and then I'm going to have to my 1%, and then I'm going to have another stab at it. Wait for the structure to move it. It's funny that it's jumping right through it, so this is definitely not looking too good. So I'm literally hanging on by a nail on the stop limits at this stage. Let's quickly see. There the Bybit one went. Bastard. Okay, so let's take this now and dive into the 1 minute. The Prime XBT one is still running. Okay, so I'm going to move into the 1 minute. Let's quickly see what we've got structure-wise. Sometimes this thing is just so spiteful. Okay, so there we've got a bit of a structure. Let's give it some time. We'll probably need to go make a higher high. We'll come back, and then I'll grab it again. I'm still in my Prime. Prime one is still running, but the Bybit one got stopped out. So I need to focus on the Bybit entry again, if it allows to do that. Let's see. There we go, fucking all out. As soon as I touch this Jinx account, everything fails. Okay, guys, so both longs are out. Sucks. It sucks. I hate trading when it does this. Okay, so now let's see. We need to see when it comes back. I want to wait for a structure to form, and then I'm going to short from this point onwards. So let's just wait and see. The joys of trading, buddy. Yes, that's the joys of trading. We all hate it when it happens. But, you know, it takes a short to go to a long, and it takes a long to get to a short. So now we just have to wait and see. Don't just FOMO in, network in. Let's see where this thing happens, what it wants to do. But it basically blew through this whole area over here. Or maybe it's you guys. Are you front running me? Somebody market executing against me? Let me know if you're doing this. Because I mean, come on, that's a beautiful area. If we were sitting in this short here, I would have been smiling all the way. It's BTC. Let's see what BTC is doing. This thing wants to dump down hard, guys. This is really looking for a good short. Maybe we need to stop worrying about this one and take BTC, because this one at 30 minutes looks really, really good. It just got rejected. There's the demand buy. So either we jump back in the range, or we go and we make a lower high around this level over here. We'll wait and see, and then the ETH will give us a nice short opportunity. So let's wait and see. This does look really bearish. But now you get the idea of why I don't all in with everything, because you'll never know. You literally never know. So you take a little bit, nibble until you get your order in. Okay, I'm going to flip this 1 minute over. Just want to see if we can break some of this momentum first. Some crazy momentum like this. And then if we get around this area, that should be the rejection, 1872. Let's see what it does. And remember your context while we're there. This is the daily. It shows us that is the bigger play. So we don't want to swim against this. And this is the 4 hour. We can chop around this area. So you don't want to be too aggressive thinking, okay, now let's just stupidly take a short. You want to try and short it around these ranges, because at some stage it's going to come back up and hit the support, and then it nail its way back down. So that's what you need to kind of wait for. So now you've got your context next to you, so that this whole move doesn't really just blows your mind away. So now I'm getting Bybit notifications about contracts being sold, Ethereum orders. Okay, so now there's the lower low. There's the sign. We've got weakness here. Let's see. Do I trade patterns? No, I don't really trade patterns. The thing about patterns at the end of the day is basically just a a crypt note of what is happening in the market. Kind of a set of, if it looks like this, it's kind of that type of market structure. So at the end of the day, it's basically the same. So if you want to cheat and get it done quickly, learn the patterns, because the patterns will also tell you if you see a pattern that looks like this, you've got a 45% chance that it will break to the upside, and 55 to the downside. Then you know what your probabilities is. Just pick the downside and trade it that pattern always to the downside. What people don't do is they look at the pattern and say that it has to break up, and then they get wrecked. Those patterns always have got about a 50 to 60% probability of playing out in a specific direction always. So it's kind of still gambling, 50-50 at the end of the day. I don't know of a pattern that's 100% or even 80% guaranteed that it does that. Okay, so now we kind of need to start making some decisions. We've created a new structure. This move is being bought up, getting some resistance around this level. So let's wait and see. Give me a little bit more candles on there. Want to get that trade in. Been short this whole time, boys. Well done, buddy. On my personal account also been short from there. That area there, added. But now when I touch the Jinx accounts to trade live with you guys, it always messes up. I'm telling you now, even our trade group, they don't want to touch this Prime XBT account, because as soon as we use it, it fails. But I'm going to be hard-headed today, and I'm going to sit here until that thing gets a value trade that's positive. And then I will break the curse on that account. And yes, traders, we are superstitious. I trade certain coins just because I like them, and I trade others because I took big losses on them and I don't want to touch them. At the end of the day, it's your mind. It's the same with on Twitter and everything. I look at a lot of stuff, and then I'll get a guy that's commenting, telling you what an idiot you are or something negative. I just block it out because I need to keep my mind positive. Whatever I need to do to keep myself in a good mood, because you need to make decisions on the fly, and that's normally very hard to do. Okay, so if we get rejected around this area, we can slowly but surely start pushing up there. So let's quickly see. If we can get that short. I want to flip into Bitcoin and just see what Bitcoin is doing as well while we're here. Now, there's absolutely definitely raining down. A big wash down as expected there. Let's quickly see what he finds. The order block. Please explain what you mean by order block, buddy. Then I can maybe help or weigh in with my thoughts. Okay, this thing is choppy as hell, so let's just wait and see where this thing wants to go. Order block, the demand area. Okay, cool. Now I understand what you're saying. BD daily close going below the order block. So you're looking at what time frame daily? So I don't know about order blocks, but the demand zone for the daily is sitting over there. That's the current demand zone that we're running in. It's not been taken out. Maybe you've got a different time frame or a different goal there, but yeah. Okay, so now's the time to hit that short. I'm gonna try and squeeze in a little bit of a short. Basically, I'm gonna use that as my invalidation level, 1875. and I want to try and market execute short in now while we still have narrow enough risk, 1% to the trade capital. Again, I just want to see if I can try and get that structure. You know what? Just have you guys taken that? Just wait a little bit. I don't think we have to act just yet. Looking on the 5 minute, I thought we were already on the 5 minute. I'll wait and see. This thing can still rally up to about that level there. So let's just give it a little bit of breathing room. And let's just flip over to the 15 before we get too trigger happy. Let's just see where this 5 minute closes. Okay, so now we've closed inside. Let's see where this candle closes. Let's just wait 5 minutes before we act. Now you can see how all the market executed. This is people market executing themselves into this range, trying to go long for that level there. So this can be conceived as a shakeout, but for me, I'll just wait a little bit. I want to see where we are. The easiest way is if you want to get yourself in, you can now use this as your risk goal because it shouldn't do this. If it goes makes a lower low, then you're definitely going to need to have a shorting there. Probable sweet spot buy would be where the stop limit was if you want to try and long this again. Because now what we do have is we've got this area here that we can use as a continuation, or as the break. So let's just wait and see what this thing does. Let it bust it. Minutes. Never regret taking a stop limit, because at the end of the day, remember now, nobody knew that this was going to rally back up. And if you don't take your punishment, you're not basically taking it trade by trade by trade. You kind of want to just let it ride and see where it moves in. So it means that at the end of the day, you're not going to define your risk properly if you try and regret it. I know that I used to think it as well. I should have just held. If I just held, I would be sitting it out, because that's the buy zone. Look at where it's at now. And yes, we could have been less greedy and given ourselves a wider berth there, but I want to try and get a nice juicy leverage. So it comes with the territory. The higher leverage you take, the more stabs you're going to have to take at it to get that leverage in. Remember that as well. So if you want to start trading 10x, you might take 5, 6 tries. But when you get it, that's the one that's going to make you a lot of money. You just need to be patient. This is basically frustration about this whole thing. These chops we're currently fighting. Well, if it closes within the range, long on market order or limit order and range low, I would rather want to wait to limit order range low. But it's a tricky thing. Remember now, if it closes in range, what do we have market structure wise? 1, 2, 3, 5 higher high, probably demand zone test. So we can argue we can use that as a limit order buy at around the same. Play the same analysis. Set it up again, and then try and trade it again. So I think that would still be a good setup. So let's see what happens. We did do a big shakeout now, so normally there's the good gains after a big shakeout. So let's see what happens. What I would love to see though is just engulfing this last structure, but I mean we can't get everything we want to see each and every time, especially because we're trying to trade this chop. So that would be the safest play. But I'm telling you now, if you do that, the market will probably just come and grab your stop below the level. So we're going to have to take the risk. How much time we have for a 4 hour to close? Still about 2 hours to wait. So this thing can chop around this range for another 3 hours, guys. I mean, close a 4 hour below that level, we might really start looking at it. If we can move that to a 1 hour, even. Now we're starting closing 1 hours again, fighting resistance. So yeah, you want to try and get that short installed at around 1886. Still going to be the area there to try and get that short in. If you're looking at the structure, that's going to be the zone where I want to grab that short and still want to along this demand area. And I think this is basically me dropping the ball. I didn't pick this up because we could have had a second order stuck in there. So I apologize for missing that one out, guys, because we could have had another sweet spot trading there. But okay, that's it. You know, we all mess up sometimes. Still 6 hours and 57 minutes for the daily to close. And I'm telling you now, if the daily starts closing below this level as well later on tonight, that will also start helping the momentum get priced back down to this area. So we just need to wait. We'll get our short. We'll quickly see what is the risk. Managing spot trades. I actually stopped trading spot. I trade leverage and I buy, invest on spot. It's nice and easy to start off trading spot because if you mess up, it's yours, you get to keep it. You know, a lot of people that started trading, they bought Bitcoins when they were cheap. And if they just held instead of lost, you know, the hodl curve would have sorted them out by now. But if you trade leverage, you can lose your account, you can wipe your account. That's why when I trade leverage, I take a small amount of my account. So what I like to do is I'll always use $10,000. That's just a rule. And I'll give myself $10,000 for this week. And by the end of the week, I either want to see 20 in my account, or I want to be down 2.5, 3 grand. And I'll be okay with that. But next week, that $10,000 isn't another clean 10,000. I start with 7,000. And now I first need to get that 7,000 back to 10K before I even can start thinking about cashing out profit again. Simple as that. And what I like to do is I like to trade 10x because it just makes the maths easier. So if I've got a 1% risk, that's 30% of a 10x position, which means I use my leverage. I'll leave it at 10x, but I'll only use 25, 30% of the money for that 10x trade, meaning that I'm not going to take the punishment for the stop limit on the entire portfolio, trade portfolio, if you get the idea where I'm going. And then, yes, that's the idea. So just nail in and make that 10K a week. That's my short-term trade scalp goal. More than that, I mean, come on, I don't need more than that. Each and every one of you guys need to obviously trade to what your desires are. I don't have debt. I don't have any issues. So for me, that's a lot of, in a third world country, that's a lot of money. So look, it happens to all. I mean, I've done that, sleeping and stuff. But that's why when you want to take a trade, you have to sit. Set it and forget it is a bit of a problem. You can now see how it chops you out. So you have to sit and wait, stab a couple of times at it, and those things are just, look at it as being just part of the game. You're gonna get nailed. So since getting free trial premium trading view, I've been loving DJ and watching the 1 second. Yes. But the thing is, if you don't have a thick enough order book, the second charts, it's crazy quick and it's nice and fast, and you can learn to trade them nicely. But a lot of the times, the exchanges we use don't really allow us to actually nail this in, because they'll have a spread in or something like that. But yes, it's fun looking at the seconds, or just use, if you don't have it, just use the 1 minute or the 5 minute and just rewind it. And then you can go straight like that as well. Okay, so let's see where this thing wants to go. This guy that either no, not here nor there, so kind of now stuck in a tricky spot. I'm just going to give it some more time. Well, I won't say it's hard to trade and teach. I'm not teaching. I'm basically just narrating my thoughts for you guys in a way, and answering a question here, there. That's all good. So it's not that big a deal. But yeah, it's nice doing it with you guys rather than doing it alone. I stopped bullshitting myself with soft stop limits and dumb stuff. At the end of the day, I've got an analysis. The analysis tells me, decides where my risk is. My risk tells me where my leverage gets calculated. So kind of playing with a soft stop, meaning that I'll get myself out. I'll close the position when I think it's invalidated, to try and prevent myself from being moved out. Actually just destroys your account, because it takes one bad trade and one bad day looking at it, saying to yourself, hey, maybe now this one will hold. And then you put too much in it, and then it breaks, and then it actually costs you a lot of money. So I don't use that. Some people do to great success. I just don't. For me, I just don't feel like it's worth it. I think this thing is gonna mess everybody around. It's not ready to turn around just yet. I'm so pissed off I missed that buy zone. Flip it, man. Sleeping at the wheel. We could have been sitting with some good profit there. Sorry, guys. Now we have to wait. I'm going to quickly go get some water. I'll be back in a couple of seconds. Right, I'm back. Shiba Inu, probably in a shorting area. What's your perspective on it? Look, when you have big pumps like this, you can be really lucky. I'll wait for that range there. Like I said on today's stream, it should push us up to that area. That can be an area to look for short, but because you've got this crazy volatility, your invalidation is still 7% on the structure. So how do you leverage that? It's a really tricky thing. So you're going to have to dive into this one again, smaller time frames, and wait for that invalidation to kick in. I'll rather trade this one because I know that there's money there. You know, it's a thick order book. You can move on. You know, you can get in, get out without moving price. Not that Shiba is small, but you kind of get where I'm going at, especially if you're taking big leverage positions, which we are not. For records, everybody, I'm trying to trade our Jinx Prime XBT account. This thing was up 100% at one stage, and then there was a bugger up with this one. Lee over leveraged, and since then it's just been cursed. Whenever we touch this thing, it ends up, we use it, and then the first trade we take with it's always being stopped out, and then we just abandon this chart, this account. But I want to sort this out and break this thing's curse once and for all. So that's my goal for today. I'm going to break the curse and get that one to run. Okay, so we're getting in this area, nice clean cut rejection, clear area there, clear rejection. So let's see what it does. Are we going to bounce here now? Because that would be a good bounce area, so we can try and get that long in. In the 1 hour, it still feels like this is maybe just, it's not worth it to try and get that long. Maybe we just hunt for the short, I think. Just maybe see if we can. This thing is just trying short. Give it some time, hunt for that short. And maybe we need to draw some magnets, guys. That's what we need. We need magnets. Come on, get there so I can get a magnet. I'll start with a small magnet, but I want it to go in there so I can grab a nice short there, preferably on that line would be ideal. So yeah. Where is Lee? Lee is ill. So I'm out of Lee. So I don't know when he's going to be back. Spoke to him yesterday. Spoke to him prior to the weekend. Yesterday was still not sounding that great. So I think he needs to rest and recover. He's been nursing that sickness now for a week before he even started staying at home and going to the doctor. So I think a little bit of neglect on it as well. So Lee, if you're watching, I don't know if you're there, maybe you're sleeping. Get better, buddy. Yes, we're putting the big guns with the magnets, buddy. Now we've already got our one stop out of the way. Now we can move. We have to wait for the next one and we'll grab it. Smaller time frame. I think maybe you're still talking about SHIB. Maybe you're watching a little bit delayed. Yeah, smaller time frame. I think I just want to kind of focus on this one for now. To be honest with you, just want to try and get the short in here, man. I think that's the big reality. We didn't engulf the structure. This is bearish. I want to get that short. Just give it a little bit more time. We missed the long. I bloody missed that long. I'm still kicking myself. Clear as daylight. Fin bar candle. Okay, now, so what do I want to see if I want to get the long in? Well, guys, the idea is maybe bounce, get another rejection, give me a clear line of momentum, and then I can try and get in there when we start breaking the structure, because I want to try and get when price moves around this area over here, and that would be close to, look at around this range here, that's 1862. So we need to start sweeping this range and start trading there, using this as our trading range. So I'm kind of waiting for that to happen. Just need to spend a little bit more time. Can't just FOMO buy into this. Well, it's a pleasure, The Optimist. Really appreciate you guys joining in as well. But now I want to make some money. And come on, man. It's one thing sitting here for an hour and a half, and all we have to show for it is one stop limit yet at the moment. So it's a bit of a thing. Okay, but that's the bounce down. That's kind of expected. I don't necessarily want to trade that. I want that long-term increase. Oops, what's happening there? Do that. Come on, let's move that magnet there. Fighting this range. Let's see where we're at. Let's look back to the 15-minute, just so I can get a bit of a clearer picture. I love using supply and demand zones. But if you go and check it, it's still, there's about a 70% chance. And if you think about it, I want to ask you guys, for those that are not maths gurus, or when you have a 70% accuracy, what is the odds of you getting 2 trades right in a row? Let me know. What is the percentage, the odds that you would get 2 trades right in a row, meaning 2 winning trades in a row with 70% accuracy. Just let me know what's your thoughts. What's the probability of you getting 2 trades right in a row? And the reason why I'm asking is just to put a little bit of context, because it's easy to riff. We get 70% trade accuracy and so forth. But there's literally some mindset that needs to be done behind that. So take a look at the Matic shorts. Yeah, but you see now I've got a math quiz here. Basically did the calculation 40%. But if you were to ask somebody, it doesn't think it like 40%. I've got a 70% accuracy. It means 7 out of 10 trades I'm winning, but there's only a 40% chance that I'll have 2 winning trades back to back. So it's kind of a bit of a tricky thing if you think about it. So yeah, you got the value. Now, if you want to have 4 winning trades in a row, which I've had rows 4, 6. You get those 6 winning trades in a row. I mean, the probability of that's like 12%, something crazy. So, I mean, that's the hard part of trading. That people don't stick to their own strategy for long enough to let the probability play out. So, yeah, that's, I think, the big thing. So, supply and demand levels, set up like this, 70% chance of playing out. So they're not going to work every time. That's the reality. The idea is not to lose money. So if you can try and even if you get stopped out at zero with a bigger goal at mind, and you can sit for a month and wait for that goal, that's good. That's level-headed trading. Well, I don't want to necessarily do it. I would rather want to try and get that supply-demand trade live here with you guys. I can show it in real form. So hopefully it works. Fingers crossed. I've got about 40 minutes left. So let's see. Hopefully we can get that one. I want to take this one away. We look at Matic there. I like that one. Sitting below the supply level, on its way back down. So if you flip into an hourly, kind of what I want to see with Ethereum, raining down, losing structure. So this Matic short does look really good. So if you want to grab a Matic short, you'll probably go and retest it around 95 cents for continuation down. That would be the probable area. Half level of around this structure. Telos, I haven't looked at Telos for a while. Let's have a look at Telos. Yes, Telos. That's also a nice jump out of the range. So yeah, there you go. There's a clear structure, getting above this range, breaking area, comes back down to this area. This is your buy zone. Actually, this is a nice spot buy between that high and that low there. That would be your buy zone. Try and fill the inefficiency in that move, and then try and get its way back up. Actually a nice one. Big momentum, have an accumulation. That was actually not a bad hit point for the month. I'll take note of this one. thanks. I'm gonna keep tabs on this one. Okay, so back to ETH, this bastard. Let's quickly see. I'm gonna flip back to the 5 and just quickly see where we are now. Okay, so we're still at this area where we can bounce. So didn't make a high, no real reason to be bullish on this move, although it did shake everybody out, even took us out of our long. We wouldn't have taken profit there, so we would have been, regardless, we'd be back at $0 profit. And it's always good to just keep that in consideration. Even if we didn't get out, we wouldn't have taken profit there. That's not my profit level. I would be sitting with $0 profit. Okay. So let's wait and see what this thing does. Probably try and hit a long right now if you want to. But I'm going to just try and play one side of the market at this stage. I want to try and get that short to see what Bitcoin is doing, because this thing can always mess up our game plan. Ranging at the moment. Why is Telos not here? It's supposed to be, it's on this exchange. Okay, otherwise I'm gonna forget about it. Not listed here yet. Telos is on MEXC, but it's just not updated on trading just yet. I'm just going to add a coin version to it. Buddy, I'll zoom in for you for a little while, then I'm going to zoom back out, because otherwise I'm stuck at looking at everything. So I just kind of want to make sure I can still see everything my side again. So I hope it helps. For now, I want to have a look at Bybit. Still good there, nothing really to do. I won't be too aggressive on shorting this. I actually want to long this around this level. Yeah, I'm looking forward. Let's see what it does. Okay, ETH. Let's see what you want to do. I'm gonna get that short. I'm telling you guys now, we're gonna get that short. One hour. Okay, so it's still 0.36%, so I can go 10x on this one still. I can go 10x in an entire position on this one at 0.36. But I'm also just going to ladder in first area. I'm going to want to try and see if I can short around this range over here. Actually, in validation, you almost don't want to see it move back into this level here, but I'm just going to give it a little bit of breathing space because I want to create a first short entry for this Prime XBT account. I'm going to give it a little bit of breathing space. This is where I'm going to hit that short. Let's see what it wants to do. Out of focus, mate. I don't know if it's the zoom. Maybe just check to make sure that you've got HD settings. There's a lot of YouTube stuff that also sometimes again become a little frustrating. Everybody else doesn't. If anybody else can't see it, just let me know. Maybe it's just you. Open a matic long conflict of interest. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy, but remember that's the beauty about trading. Everybody's got an agenda, so nothing wrong with opening that long. Don't doubt the long just because I want to short the period. It ends up you being the winning guy here today, and I being the one that keeps on, being against the wind here. So just always take note of that. Nobody really knows. We're just applying trade strategies, and the probabilities will take care of our gains at the end of the day. So the idea is I want to scalp a short, trading that daily momentum down or the weekly momentum to create a bounce point, previous lows. So just to give a bit of an idea, maybe now's not the right time to do that. Maybe I need to act. I want to get in that short. Okay, so I'm going to try and get in that short there, guys. I'm going to try and get it from about 70, 78. Validation above this level. I'm going to give myself a wide breathing room. I can go 10x stop. I'm only going to use a quarter of the money I want to spend. So yet again, if I get stopped out, it's another 1%. I can do this all day until I get the one that sticks. And then I start building my position from there. I'm just basically putting in my orders. Okay, so my orders are placed. Let's see. You can do is also just track a little bit of retail momentum. Nothing wrong with using momentum to try and gauge and see where we're at. What that does is it just creates an expectation management of whether you should still wait for it or whether it's going to come into, it's going to come too late. Yes, I am also getting the same with this music, Joshua. You hit the nail on the head there. Let's do something different. This song is called Feeding the Ducks. I don't want to listen to this, I'm going to be honest with you. Acoustic cinematic. Let's see what this looks like. I'll turn the volume down a little bit more. Okay, so let's see. My orders are filled. Right, orders are filled. Now it's over to the trade cards. Let's see what it wants to do. So the reality is, guys, we can still expect a lot of chop listing can still go there. That's why I want to make sure that I'm well clear of this. I want to be over there. If it gets into this range again, I mean, it's just going to mess us about. So I don't want to try and do this there. And if we look at this from there to there, you can get to see where, it's kind of another half level sitting at around that range there. So price tends to want to migrate to these ranges. So just remember that I just want to make sure that I got my order in, and I don't want to try and be too greedy. So let's see what it does. And then as a last little add-on to this thing, what we don't want to do is we don't want to be sitting around this range and this whole thing engulfs the structure, because then this then turns bullish. So that's kind of a really important line for price to hold. You don't want to see this thing start going in there again, because then it will push up to that level there. So let's wait and see what it wants to do. It's in its hands. Jinxed account order is filled. Let's see what it wants to do. We'll break this Jinx accounts back today, I'm telling you now. Yeah, I'm using limit order prices because it is small, and the value is there on the screen. You can see there it's around, well, it's not showing the value there. Sorry about that value. 1788. That's where I'm trying to get this price in stop limit above 1884. So I'm hiding my stop limit above that value, not putting it short of that value. But the idea is that this thing can range, and because It's already been so volatile and wicking. I want to make sure that I get it in there. And then this is now off the back of Bitcoin. Now bloody goes and does a higher high on the structure again. So there's another spanner in the works here. It just doesn't want to give us a break today. But let's see what Bitcoin wants to do. Momentum wise, guys, we'll be looking at this saying, okay, right, we're stepping up, so the momentum is changing. But this line's a BS line, so just ignore that. Let's just see what it wants to do. And then it's tricky to take this on smaller time frames, but there's support resistance level in there, so kind of bouncing in that area there. So let's see what it wants to do. And try and do this. Put this one there as well. So yeah, so we've got a lot of volatility because we're on this side of the box. So if it gets below that 50% and now needs to do that, our short will be okay, but if it keeps on closing candles above this area, we've got 3 minutes left, and starts moving on, we can start moving our GON, moving it there, and then start thinking about this being bullish until we break that line again, which means then we maybe need to wait again. So it's going to take some time to figure itself out. We're kind of in a tricky space. So the thing about these tradings and time, you never know when you're going to get it. You have to kind of sit and wait until you get that position. So we're waiting. Let's see what it wants to do. I'm going to quickly check your guys' comments again. Great, some relaxing music. Happy to hear that you're liking it. No music, I apologize. It's kind of tricky. I made sure that it's nice and soft. There's never going to be the right music for this, I would imagine, but I apologize. Yes, so no music, it's distracting. So yeah, let's see. Music or no music? Let me know in the comments, guys. Come on. It's you in the end of the day with this. Triple ones for music, triple nines for no music. Let's throw it for a boat and then we take it there, simple that. The Mt. Gox release, I'm kind of partial to that because a lot of those guys who got the retail part of it, they got offered buyouts from institutions long ago, and so it's already institutional guys that's basically getting the debt, so they're going to be holding. So I doubt that the Mt. Gox is going to create big selling pressure, to be honest with you. So it's overwhelmingly 111. What did I say is 111? I forgot. There's 111. We do the music. With 111, we throw the music away. Just remind me. Let me just see that. So I doubt that the Mt. Gox thing is going to be that big, to be honest with you. But remember, in a bear market, people are looking for a reason to sell or to get out of a painful position, So if that is enough reason for them, they'll use it. So one is music. Okay, so overwhelmingly the music is playing. So for the ones that don't like the music, I do apologize, guys. But what we can do is we can cycle the music every now and then. Democracy working at the moment. So there's a lot of ones. Dit gaan goed, meneer. And sorry for Manuel Alpha. But the people have spoken. Are the people complaining about the slight hum? Well, if you complain about the slight hum in the background, I'm just going to say no chance in hell that that's going away, because that's my heater. I've got a gas heater burning here. It's quite cold, and I'm sitting on a yoga ball, which is the worst thing in the middle of the winter because it doesn't get warm, so your bum's always cold. So got the heater baking here on the back end, and that's that hissing noise that you're hearing in the back. So I do apologize for that. but I think comfort is important. Okay, so now this bastard wants to bounce to that level, which is realistic because it's a range. We've been looking at this range now the whole time. So you kind of now get the idea how these pivotal areas, how it wants to move beyond it. You'll never quite know which candle is going to be the one that does the bouncing, does the moving, but it's always going to be, that's the exciting part about trading, you know, the guessing part. Is this one going to be the one that we make money, or are we going to lose money again? I don't know. Let's wait and see. Let's see what it wants to do. You know, is that a wick out, fake out? Is that the momentum we need to track? I don't know. You know, that's the tricky thing about trading in the end of the day. So you take stabs on it. You've got your strategy, and you've got your risk management in play. Nice thing what we can do is we can do a little micro axis quickly here. See if we can rock out a little axis to see where we are and what we've done. So there would be a little axis line, and then let's just test it, make sure we're good. Not quite right. Let's see if we're missing something there. I'm going to use those levels there. Hindsight's always 20/20, guys, so it's a tricky thing there. Boom. Now I've bullshit myself into a narrative that makes us feel like, maybe we're good, you know. But that's the axis. There's supply entering the market, and if this works, we should see correlation on demand entering the market as well, and we are getting demand. So we do have a good idea of how this plays. So now I've got expectation management. The longer we sit, the better, and the more probability it's going to come that our stop's going to be in less of a risk. So now we just need to lose support levels at this stage, and then we'll be good to go. So let's wait and see for this to happen. Momentum wise, if we want to use GAN, I like GAN a lot. Yet again, slap GAN on the 5 minute, which is tricky. So I'm going to just scrunch it up because it's always going to be a bit of a bugger up. And I'm just BS because choosing which line is always a tricky one because we don't quite have the acceleration. I don't really have the acceleration marked out. Maybe let me just use a different GAN template. We use this one from the top, and then I have to scrunch this one a little bit further to get the angles right. Okay, cool. Now it's a messy chart, guys, a really messy chart. But now we've got a little bit of GAN perspective in here. And the important one that I want to try and watch, just mark that line out. For continuation of momentum would be this line here. So it's there to there. So that's the little line that we want to watch. I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to delete all this. So as long as we grind, we stay below that line, we're good. Okay, so that's all that I want to take from that today. I'm going to go back. I still have comments on here. Let's quickly have a look here. Yeah, the idea is to do live trading. That's why we actually changed the structure on how we do YouTube. I'm going to be honest with you guys. At one stage, I felt like I'm just a content creator because I've got a big weakness. I tend to want to do everything. So I do the tile designs myself. I've got Joe help write the descriptions and the headings. I test the tags every day, and then by the time it gets to the YouTube itself, you know, I've already 4 hours in. And now the new way we're doing it, we do the big sessions, we trade live with you guys. That's why we've got the playlist going on now. Let's just do this, which means it frees up my day. Doing a quick rundown like we did today, like this one. I made the tile, we did the quick video, and it's done. But there's the big hard planning. So whenever you're not sure what's happening or where we're going to go, just go and watch the weekly pre-trade, because that sets the tone for the whole week. We tend to have done this every day, but you know, it's always repeating and trying to find a new narrative. Now that's out of the way, we can actually just live trade. And I want to see this playlist, this live session, just start populating with the views, because this is this is the fun part. This is what we should be doing for a living every day here, is trading, not talking about trading. And that's the goal. So yeah, I'm happy to see that you picked up on it, and definitely, guys, that's what I want to try and see work. Okay, so supply line working. So let's see what supply wants to do. We are still doing inside candles there, shaver candles. So there's a lot of fighting around that area. We got a short at a good spot, I think, but it's still fighting. We're not in profit. We're still in drawdown. Quite break even. You get that tab out. Yeah. Bybit's at drawdown, and Prime is roughly almost break even. So still a lot of chop there, still a lot of fighting. So if this thing pops its neck out of there, you know, that's almost your cue to say, well, be careful. And you kind of have your first warning level. So if it pops between those two levels, you can now use that as your trading stop once it starts moving down, because it will try and respect these levels like it does. I can move that level there. There's an important one. You can see how it respected that level there. And I'll move 2 lines down. Delete that line there. So move that to there. You see how it respects these levels. So it's important that we just keep that, and always remember, guys, I like when I trade, keep context, big picture. You're looking for that. So let's not get confused with small time frame bullishness. And if we go back to our hourly, remember, don't just think that this is the short that's going to be the one, the be and the all, because it can still chop for days at an end before it really drops. We don't know. So we kind of need to baby this one still. It's not at a point where we can just leave it, say, money's going to be in my bank when I wake up. It's not going to be that way just yet. Just yet. So any of you guys got really big accounts, help a brother out and short the shit out of ETH quickly, so that it can dump. So let's see what it wants to do. One of my list of alts and DCA, but I don't know when to start because I have a feeling that we will go down before we go up. Look, from an investment point of view, if you look at the charts, I'm going to bring up a different chart just quickly. We can stick maybe to an ETH chart. Let's make a copy, new layer. It's going to load. If you think about this, if you're new to trading and you've got some money, I always say to people when they're new, because I get asked this question a lot. I'm new to trading. Maybe not. Let's not use. Let's go ETH, and let's go Coinbase. If you look at this chart, and you try and eliminate the times where you bought, where it was wrong. And this is what DCA is. This is the power of DCA. If I look at the times where I wouldn't have wanted to buy Ethereum, right? First thing I want to do is, well, I want to look at key support level, so we can use that as a level. I'll make the level thin, just to give you a perspective. And then that's another level. So there's investment, and there's investment. And that's how it tends to work. Now, if we flip over to logarithmic, it just changes the perspective a little bit so that you can see the percentage growth rather than the growth in price value. So if you then flip back to normal price, we just zoom in here. When is the time that you shouldn't have bought? Well, you can argue that would be a horrible time. And you can argue that this would be a horrible time, okay? All the other times it's positive. So dollar cost average means I'm not getting in today. I'm getting in this month, and I'm getting in next month, and I'm getting in next month again with the same amount. That's DCA, which means if you think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. For 10 months, you'll probably be sorry you did it. But for the remaining 2 years, you'll be happy, or a break even and then cashing it in. And then one again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 months again at the moment. You might be sorry. So if you DCA, Warren Buffett says it beautifully. You only lose when you sell. And if you dollar cost average and you give it time horizon is going to sort you out. So you don't need a university degree to be able to make money if you don't want to trade aggressive, if you just want to own it in spot. You just need to understand that sometimes you don't have control over when it's going to go up, but you do have control of how you buy in. And to be honest with you, if you think about it, if you bought $1,000 there and you bought $1,000 there, your average price is going to sit over there. So $1,000, $1,000, $1,000. By the time you're buying all these $1,000 here, think about how strong your bag is and how your average price is going to probably be stuck over there, because look at how powerful it is. And any long accumulation, that thing gets followed by a rally. It's very seldom that you get this V reversals. That's normally a blow off top. That's what we want to see. So you hardly can't fuck it up almost. Let's just talk plain. You can't mess it up. Simple as that. If you DCA. And then another thing, just to check out when you want to DCA, you want to try and see when is a good price point. Maybe you don't want to take those 6 months and get it wrong. Well, 786, that's your cue. 887. Now, ETH is we've got a little bit of a, really at some stage this thing was really cheap. I mean, I bought my first Ethereum when it was below $100. And look at that. 786, 887, and then that's the rally. And now if you go back to this one and we move this to this low, there, 786, 887, same as that. That's probably going to be the area where we consolidate. That's why I want to take the swing short. I want to get that short in there. You've got a lot of time, so you actually don't even need to do anything. Just leave the money alone. Try and leave it there for a few more months before you start dollar cost averaging. You should be okay. Righto, let's get back to where we were. Let's see what this thing is doing. So it's a lot of fighting there, but let's see. Fingers crossed, guys. Gareth Soloway has released an educational content course, and oh my, $6,000 for it. But I paid 20 grand for some of my education. Come on, $6 grand's a bargain. We're doing the same, doing it live for free. Come on, it's even a greater bargain. But the reality is, if there's time and effort spent into creating the content, it's not just the fact that you have the knowledge. You need to package the knowledge in a curriculum that somebody can absorb it step by step, and build on it. That's a lot of time and effort. $6,000 for a trading course, in my opinion, isn't expensive, to be honest with you. Like, give me $6 grand and I'll give you the tools to make money forever, to turn the market into your own ATM. Or then don't spend the $6 grand and buy the signal. But the signal is always going to I want my fish while I learn. So there's many ways you can do it. I decided initially not to do this and got my ass handed to me. And then after a while, I said, okay, well, let's get the good content in. So, but each their own. At the end of the day, YouTube is full of so many good free stuff, but when you're new, you don't know which is right and which is wrong, and that's the scary part of this whole thing. So it's a really tricky space, but good for the guy. I mean, if you build something, I actually would want to go and check out what he's got. Maybe there's little gaps that I can fill. We can always learn more. That's the reality. The network effect for the live trading is amazing. Well, I'm happy to hear that you're enjoying it, Pedro, and yeah, we'll be doing this more often. Drop coming very soon. Yes, I want to see that drop coming. I'm my fingers are crossed, buddy. Let's quickly see what have I missed. Look, time analysis is a tricky thing. I've spent a lot of time trying to learn how to analyze time, and it's a hard thing. It's like trading to the dollar as well. When you look at the GAN system, putting you on the daily, I'm just going to flip to the daily because GAN gives you time. If you want to try and get time, I'm just going to draw a random Gann box. There's a random Gann box. Okay. So the first thing you would want to do if you want to try and get time in, and then I'm just going to flip to standard Gann setup. So if you look at this, 25, 38, 250, those are normal time levels. So what Gann does is it says, well, you put that level there, and then around that level, you can expect a rejection and so forth. It's just around these zones. But there's always going to be a few days. It's never going to be perfect. Each stop reaches its high. And to be honest with you, I think sometimes if you want to trade time, just use the moon cycles, because you will have a pretty much the same 70 or 60% accuracy, because it's actually quite accurate when you think about the moon. Gets to a full moon, start looking for a short. Gets to a new moon, start looking for a long. And when it fails, and that's it. But that's the thing about time. Time is very, very open to your perception of where it should be. One thing I can say is I've got other time strategies I use, which I can't really go into here because the session is going to turn into a 10-hour session. But yeah, you can definitely go and we can always look at that into the future. But still, no guarantee that it's going to play. It just gives you context, same as that we're doing over here. It gives me context of what it is, and that's how you should use time. See, now we are fighting again. Let's see. I don't want to see this thing lose up. Come on, man. Whoever is buying now, go on holiday, please. Right, XBT. I actually have an 8 o'clock with the Discord guys scheduled. Let's just quickly see. Where is the chat now? Just so we know. I said I'll post a link here. I'm still on YouTube. There, then we'll just do that one as well on YouTube, and let me just get a link to this account, to this video. I've got a link here somewhere. There you guys, let's see what this. You see this bastard now, no? That's exactly what we don't want to see. When it starts stepping up like that, that creates a completely different narrative. So maybe it's a shakeout, maybe it's not. Let's just give it some time. We've got our invalidation. I would hate to take another 2 in a row, because yet again, getting 2 wrong now, the probabilities is just as low. So let's see what it wants to do. Maybe that's a big eye. It's just selling, a little bit of stop limit, a little bit of a thin order book around that level. So let's not think into that too much. But I would hate to see that happening. There, you can see scenarios where it does this. So let's just leave it be. Okay, so message sent. Yes, Vivian, we're going to actually start doing that again. We want to start bringing in some guests. We've got Val as well and so forth. We actually just, I don't know why we stopped. I think we just got too busy with charting and stuff. We actually stopped reaching out to people and bringing them on the show. So we're going to start doing that again and start keeping on doing it, That's not good. Now we come on, that bloody candle needs to now stay there. I don't want to see. You can see how relevant this level is. We don't want to start open closing there. Give me an open close candle above that level. I'll have to start really worrying. I won't kill the short, but I will probably expect the thing to get stopped out again. Okay, so yeah, so we'll bring in. Go on to the Discord, maybe just in the YouTube suggestions area, just writing Jason Casper, and I'll go check it out and reach out to him. 4 minutes and 20 seconds left. I don't want to see this thing do that. Get above that level and start giving bullish people a reason to be bullish, because then we need to flip our dynamic again. And we don't have a hedge long now. Yeah, it's nice when but this is why I was holding on for the exit liquidity as well. I won't sell at the bottom. There will be a rally at some stage, so I want to see where that goes. And it's nice when it moves in, but start laddering out. If you're in a position where you can do it, just ladder out. Okay, so let's now see. Is this thing now just creating a little bit of an additional supply there? I don't know. Let's see what it wants to do. Come on, ETH, give me my short. I'm telling you guys, this is a jinxed account. We have not had one YouTube show where we use the jinx account and not walk away with money. I think we probably had one where it works. So this Prime XBT jinx account that we've got going, I'm telling you now, I want to break that. I want to break that thing's back. More flip circles. Yeah, we can do more flip circles in future sessions as well. And happy to hear that your first stream, you're liking it. Talk to them about trading. I love talking, buddy, so probably, yeah, that's okay. So the short is currently hanging on by fingertips. So anytime now, what does that mean? Yeah, anytime now, dump? Yes, please. That would be nice. Let's, come on, man. Come on, don't do this to me. What's Bitcoin doing? See now, let's have a look at this one now. Let's move this here. You see, Bitcoin's gonna mess us around big time now. Let's see. So we're probably gonna have to now think and flip long again with this one. Let's see what it does. It's gonna take our stops. Already went high there. So I'm gonna try and see if I can get out at break even. You see there, all the stops. Jumped in, took my stop as well, probably now. And now this thing's pumping. This is stop limits being taken out. So jinxed account, 2 losses in a row now. Can't believe. Okay, now we have to wait again. Yeah, well, the idea is to try and sit here until I get a trade. Now we're at the half level, so this is still a really good area. It's just a little tricky, guys. You're going to keep on chopping up in this range. we were trying to, we were trying to look for short at the bottom. This would be the better area to look for short, clearly. But when we live trade, we kind of want to start at a point and just trade until we get something. So now if it wants to go there, let it go there. When you have a big pump like this, you normally have a nice quick reversal. So it just means that we're going to have to wait. I'm not going to chase this. I'm not going to open any new trades. If we get above this level, it kind of then just breaks this whole bearish movement down. But to just give you context, like I said on the hourly, this thing can do this and then go. I mean, we don't have a time it needs to happen now. That's the hard part of trading. You kind of have to wait. A lot of momentum. It can still push up there. I mean, there's so many analysis. Which one's going to be the one that works this time? We don't know. So yeah, pity we've got 2 for 2 now. But now I'm down 1%, down another 1%. That's why I'm laddering in. I'm not going 30% of my account every time I get stopped out. 1% is nothing. If you think of consideration, if it would have worked, made a lower low, and I would have come back and I would have taken another trade. Now it starts getting easier because you've got the first position in. Yeah, buddy, we lack at marketing. Starting to help us. We started this week. So let's see. Hopefully the marketing part comes up. But we're traders. We're not marketers. So at the end of the day, we're always going to lack there. And it's the hard part of where we at. I don't want to stop being a trader and become a marketer again. Then the trades will suck. I think I'd rather keep to the trading part then. And hopefully somebody will help us. But now you can see, this is now everybody got ups, everybody got stopped out, but now there's no trading there. So now it's going to fall back down. But I'll rather now wait. I'll wait for this area here and just wait and see. Wait and see a little bit longer. So if there's any other questions, yeah, if there's any other questions, guys, pop it in while we here. The thing about this is, if you think about this and ask Banter and those guys, we started our own channel for a specific reason. And guys, I forgot to delete the magnet. Damn right, I forgot to delete the bloody magnet. Can't believe it. Thanks for pointing it out too late. Okay, so let's delete the magnet. No, we started our own channel, because we kind of had our own idea of what we would want to do. That's a well-oiled machine. The structures are put in. It kind of works in a specific way, and it works well. I mean, all things said, it's still growing. They're doing that part really good. We need to grow organically because it's like buying subscribers. In the end of the day, you might bring people to your channel that's interested, comes and have a quick look. But they're not really keen on trading aggressively, trading hard. So then you're going to talk to deaf ears eventually, and then they're just going to leave in any case. So it's not going to be sustainable. You might get 1 out of 100 people that really want to be a hardcore trading, because that YouTube channel is completely different. There's trading to it, but it's more. There's different other nuances in it. They've got the DeFi, they've got the game, and so forth. So you can't really. We need to grow on our own accord. That's the hard reality. It's the same as building my initial portfolio. I need to lose my money in order to learn how to trade, and then I can make money. That's the way that I did it. In the end of the day, when I started making money, I understood that I could do it well, and be comfortable sitting here live with you guys and take 2 losses in a row. So okay, well that's trading for you. We'll get the next one. Let's go ahead. Yeah, look, we started trading together. Sure, I don't know how many years ago, and we traded well as a team. Sheldon, me, Lee, we really gelled well. There's Craig as well. We kind of filled each other's weaknesses well, and it worked beautifully. But Banter came in, and Banter's a really big thing for him, and I'm happy for the guy. He's really doing well there. We still suck at marketing, suck at doing these things. So happy where I'm at. Really, just I'm really happy where I'm at. So now we're going to have to wait and see. I want to see a little bit more candles. This is done. We can leave one line because we can always use this line again. You see track when we break. And what we can do is we can maybe create a demand line quickly, just get that balance sorted in there. I'll see if I can use this structure over here. Big candle, big candle, big candle, big candle. So we're going through big candles. This probably would be as good a access as we get. Let's see if there's any confluence around this area. Not that much. We are closing below it. So we can probably use that as a demand. And let's just see if we can get confluence on the supply side here. So it's a good, the angle is good. All right. Okay, so now we have to wait and see. Let this thing play out. So this is going to be our trading range for now. We're at the top end. We get above this area. Next step. We keep going there. We probably should have just, on my second mistake tonight, I apologize, guys. Equine and butts. Should have used this area to just grab a little bit of a hedge. I'm telling you now, we're going to get that short. We get that short. It's going to take some time. We're going to get it. Could you use the 5-minute candle as a supply zone on the 5-minute? I won't necessarily use this as a supply just yet. At the end of the day, remember, let's take away the clutter. We take away the clutter and we just clean this up a bit quickly. This was the gone level, so let's just use this line. That level is significant because it's the gone momentum for the downwards area. So we get to be bearish if we stay below that line, through the gone box. That's the important line. You can see the significance around that level. Okay. Now we also have our demand for the bulls, and we also had confluence around that level. So there was a lot of confluence around that level. And that's why you're creating a new demand zone at around that area there. Demand zone because we made a higher high and we're busy moving to the upside. A lot of this price action that we've seen here now was everybody that was shorting this, late shorts. I was trying to get a late short in, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But everybody was shorting there. Their stops created forced buys, and that created the momentum. Now, this demand zone, we can use this to try and market execute more buys in, to try and create more momentum to the upside if you're a market maker. Because then the real big short would be at around this level over here, because this is still the area to short. And if you have a look at this, there can be a short squeeze. So basically, what do I mean by that? It goes back, gets above this range, messes everybody up, comes back in, and then we go. And that's off the back with Bitcoin now, doing this. You can see how Bitcoin's now just accelerating. And this was off this gone box that we drew over here. I just moved it over to this point over here. And you can now see the significance around this level. It's matching up with the fib levels. We're in a situation where we're getting close to a time zone, might turn around. And if you really want to now fight Bitcoin, and try and find an area to be bearish if you want to be bearish. That zone there is going to be a key pivotal area where either it rejects and it's going to start fighting around that area. But Bitcoin is bullish now until we lose this level. So we're kind of sitting stuck in a situation now where we've got Bitcoin messing up our plan, and we've got Ethereum. So Ethereum's got an invalidation level there. So now we have to wait for. It's kind of like all the cards need to align. We're going to sit in a situation once Bitcoin is ready to go bearish, Ethereum is happy to be bearish, most of the other major alts, they're all lining up with the same move. That's when the whole thing dumps. But until that happens, one might be bullish like we just had now, and Ethereum looked bearish for a moment. And now you've got an area where the market's still sorting itself out, and that's what we're trading at the moment. We're trading chop. It's sorting itself out in this area. So the best place to wait for that to kind of resolve itself is there. I'm going to just sit around and wait for that to happen, knowing that there's an area to take risk there. But if I want to take that risk there, I'll wait for Ethereum to come back below this level, Bitcoin to give me some rejection, so I'll wait and see, and then I'll short again. Maybe I'll short again at around 1888 if I want to. Big picture, this is still bearish. Medium picture, 1 hour picture, this thing is still ranging, and we do have a trend, and we can even go up to that level there. So there's still a lot of place to get stopped out. So that's always was a questionable short. So I'll just spend a little bit more time and sit on the screen and wait for it. I want to get that trade in. That's a weird one. If the link in the Discord is invalid, just pause the screen. I do have this one. I could just bring up this one. Just scan that QR code with your phone and it'll take you to Discord. It's funny that it's not working, but here's the link. Food for thought. Yes. Look, the way I see it is, we've got dedicated people working behind the scenes, setting out stuff. And it's not just because it's free. Because it's free, it's easily not appreciated. Here we're trading with stop limits, there's rules, there's stuff to adhere to. So if it's a premium group and we just give it out for free, what you will find is you'll get the wrong kind of crowd jumping in. And we've seen this. And everybody's throwing everybody's opinion because any and everybody has access to it. So you end up sitting in a situation where you don't have like-minded guys. So anybody that is new, one guy says go long, I say I want to go short. The short worked. Next time, everybody wants to go short because my previous short worked. And then one guy had a long and he closed it, and then he ends up losing out on a move because that's the one that works. Like I said, there's always going to be misleading things. There's somebody with the shorting ETH from where? I can't remember. Your short's almost close to break even as well. So that's the sucky thing about trading. So we try and keep it closed off. If the bus is full, doesn't want to move. That's the difference. And we do a lot for free. I mean, I'm sitting here and trading with you guys. That's free of charge, helping doing the thing. So I doubt that that's the reason, but yeah, $99 I think it's like Gareth with the $6,000 for an educational pack. We've got guys trading stats there, and they also get their stops. Last week was a horrible week for them. I think the spammers got us again. Let me just quickly block this. Nude adult users. So yeah, so those are things you just need to consider. So it's a tricky thing. There's no one right answer for everybody. Well, I don't know if this phone scan doesn't work. Let me just get the Discord link. I'll put it in the comment section for you. Okay. Just give me a sec while we wait for this thing to do its thing. Do. There you go. There's the link. Now we wait. So if you're new to it, just recently joined, guys, we're still trying to get that ever elusive ETH short. Bitcoin just basically screwed us. It's now rallying up, so we're gonna have to wait and see. I actually want to reverse this gone settings, the wrong way around. Okay, and let's see what it wants to do. How do I calm myself if I have a bad trading week? Sometimes you know what I do to calm myself? I look at this, guys, and that's what you need to do. I just look at the stats. There's no way that you know that you really can calm yourself. Look at your stats. I'm going to bring up this. This is the stats from. So I've got my own stats that I look at. I write down. I love to write in books and stuff. So if you look at stats, since we started the premium week, this was all the trades that it's called, 472 trades, 70% win rate. Okay, these compound stuff, it's all messed up. They're still busy factoring in leverage. It doesn't factor in leverage, so the gains on this thing is not quite accurate. And it's busy. They're busy building an area where we can give you a shareable link. So I can't give you the sign-in details because then you can start adding in your own trades and mess with the figures, and some guys will. But there's a live shareable link, so at any time you can actually look at this, filter the stuff by the trade setup. There's different strategies, Strat 11, 2A, B, all the different ones. By the portfolio, Trader 001, 2, 3, 4, Lee, myself, our paper trades when we're testing stuff, whatever we want to do. So you can filter it through all the different areas. And when you sit in a situation where you're getting a point where it's just a shitty trading week, you're going to get it. So last 7 days, we can actually just do this. We've got a few days in. I'm just going to exclude these few days. I'm going to take Monday, till to Tuesday. Let's take Monday to Monday. Apply dates. Okay. And then let's just say no paper trading. We just want to the trades issued to everybody on the premium group. 12004. So that's everything. And I mean, Monday we didn't have the rest of the Monday trades. So there were still a few trades open. So let's quickly have a look. And actually Monday's one, it's moved up nicely now. Beginning of Monday, we were still looking horrible. So let's change the date and exclude Monday. Let's just do it like that. Kind of want to. So this one looks even better. So I mean, maybe when you just get the trade group to just call the premium trades in here. But in any case, that's the type of figures that I'm looking at that I want to use to help myself through when it's in a bad trading day. But I want to try and get a bad week now. And the nice thing about the stats, it tells you every time we trade at 2, 100% chance we get stopped out at this stage. So that's a bad hour to trade. So if we get a time at 2, it's a bad day. It gives you weekly. Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, better chance. Friday, better chance. Other days to trade, there's even days where like, Mondays will be a horrible day. So we tend to want to trade days where our performance is better on average than other ones. Okay. When we have a look at, when we have this thing ticking over for a year now, what we'll be able to do is say, well, since it started, all the dates, take that filter away. And we scroll down hourly, weekly. You can see most of the losses done on a Monday. Tuesdays be good. Thursdays, brilliant day to trade. 42% of the trades called on Tuesday does better. So that could be the good day to trade. So if you've been taking losses, is it over the weekend? Because then maybe Sunday and Monday you shouldn't be trading. That's the type of data we look at. So, and if you think about it, now over this premium groups now running now for 3 months, 67%. Shitty runs, good runs, there you've got the data. So that's the type of stuff that we have a look at. Hope it helps. See, now Bitcoin's coming down. Let's have a look at this. What trading journal is it that you use? This is Tradersync, and we actually plug in everything that we do on the premium group. So if you sign up with any of our exchanges, we show links as well, guys. I mean, it is kind of a business at the end of the day. We want to grow this into something one day. But if you sign up with Bybit or MEXC or even Prime XBT affiliate link and fund it, we basically give you access to the premium group for free. Simple as that. So go and get it. For those that have already got the accounts, you've now had a couple of months, you're making money. So then, paying for the premium group doesn't seem to be that far-fetched or unreasonable for that matter. And that's the idea. So Tradersync is the platform that we use to record all the trades that we do within the premium group. And yeah. Today is just not my day. I'm getting chopped left, right, and center. This ETH is just not working. Right? So weekends, I actually stopped trading over weekends. To be honest with you, I used to trade a lot over the weekends, especially when I still had a day job, because during the week I would work. Made it even harder. So you can see how the odds is against you. So Tuesday to Thursday is the best day to trade. So I'm going to sit in front of the screen until I get that trade. This thing needs to finish chopped. Once this gives me a little bit of low structure, I'm going to grab it. Only for 14 days, I got kicked out. Yeah, the bot kicks you out. It's not us that's being so mean. But that's the MEXC account. Yeah, but I mean, in 14 days, probably would have had a couple of good trades in there, buddy. So, and then there's still the MEXC giveaway. We're basically just waiting for all the signups on that one. Then we're gonna issue them in one big gulp. So if you're part of that area, so just hold on. You might still qualify for more. We try and make it free and have it free for as much as we can. I'm going to be honest with you. The idea is not to say we can and smoke your money out and then run away with it and leave you with a down portfolio. So that's why we try and do all these things to try and make it free. If the exchange is willing to give us some money for that, thank you. That's a good trade. You're not paying for it; they're giving it, and we're giving a service to you. Open a new account every 14 days. Huh? That's hacking the system. Nothing wrong with that. I don't have an issue with that. Does that? Okay. Maybe I need to now start acting. I need to get that long in. I'm going to quickly market execute my ass into this. This thing now dumped really quick while I was talking to you guys. That's going to be my breathing room. So I want to wait and see for that to happen. I want to wait until it gets back in that range though. Don't want to grab it over here. But when it gets in that range, let it do its thing in here. Try and get that long, because I think this thing's still going to need to want to bounce probably over there. And let's just have a look at Bitcoin while we wait. Now you look at Bitcoin. Come on, Bitcoin's now on top of that line. So now Bitcoin's falling through that line. So the idea of taking a long on ETH now really starts becoming a big question. That's the trick about trading with Big Daddy in the hindsight. If this thing now decides to dump down there, your ETH long is not going to do you much. And you kind of have to wait and see and wait for this thing to resolve itself. This is chop, tricky thing. So let's see what it wants to do. Now we're getting our short. But in the big context of this, guys, this is on the daily, we're just moving in that little candle up and down. So let's just wait and see what this thing does. Can we swap the music maybe? Let's maybe flip to a new soundtrack. We're getting sick and tired of this one as well. Night driving. Let's see what night driving does. Sound like. What time frames are you guys tuning in? I see there's a lot of SA guys, South African guys, European. Let me know what time frames you guys are all jumping in. Maybe we need to just let this market cool down and come back in 2 hours. Give it a little bit of more structure, let it do its thing. Institutional sell signals. Oh, look at this thing. It's chopping everywhere. So it's just trying to figure itself out. We're gonna have to be a little bit patient. From Bitcoin's point of view, I mean, we're moving into this range. We're testing this area. So It's a really tricky space. I have to wait and see. We'll get it. We'll get it. Okay. I'm gonna market execute another short. 1872. Third time's the charm. Come on, guys. Keep your fingers crossed. Third time's the charm. I don't want to be gambling, but I mean, we're losing the structure. We're falling below this level. At one stage, this is going to keep. There it was resistance. There it's support. Now we're below it again. That level is going to be someplace. We're going to need to take that risk at some stage. What mountain bike do I have? I've got a Scott RC. The one that Nino Schurter uses. I'm a big Nino Schurter fan if you're into mountain biking. And then I pumped it out. I got that, the XXO, the green group set, that chameleon color. So I swapped the black out for the green. No, Rudo didn't send you a friend request on Discord. Block that scammer. It's probably the horrible place about this. There's always going to be somebody trying to sell you, saying that it's me and I can give you a tool or something that will change your life. If I was going to do it, I would do it on YouTube. You would hear it from me while I'm here. So yeah, just block that guy. Bit chart. Unlock, dumped Bitcoin hard. Let's quickly have a look at the bit chart. Let's see. Bybit. Oh, this thing is coming down hard. I mean, I got my average bit buy is at $1.10. So for me, look, this is long-term bags. I'm not interested in selling any of them now. So that is kind of where my big bit bags is sitting at $1.10. Sitting here at 50 cent down. I mean, I've got 5-6 year, hold horizon. It's not even on an exchange. It's stuck in a hardware wallet. So I don't really care about that one. But yeah, it sucks when stuff goes down. But remember what your time horizon, what your goal is. But is Binance, is Bybit going to go bust in 3 months' time? I doubt it. In a year's time, I doubt it. 6 months, I doubt it. 2 years, I doubt it. So I'm thinking of this as like a way to turn back time. When we looked at the BNB coin, I mean, I had BNB coin at cheap, and I sold. Now I don't have any BNB, sucker, and I don't want to buy back because I know how cheap I had it. It's a trick, so I rather want to keep this one. So let's see what this thing does. It's chopping the shit out of everybody, so it's just hunting stops. There's no clear movement at the moment, so I'm just gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna wait for this thing to give me some sort of a structure to trade off. Maybe that's the right thing to do. Let's not get too greedy. Keep that there. You'll get that one. You'll get it. Don't you worry. Short on OP. Lee is the one that took the short. I actually missed the short. I don't have a short on OP, so I don't get to enjoy that one at the moment. What is OP doing? $1.43. So it's kind of sitting in that same fighting range where I'm looking at. I think Lee still got the short open. I don't think he's closed his short. Do you have your short still open from OP? I mean, that is now a real money printer. I mean, looking at it, 36%. That's just on spot price. So, I mean, if you 10x that, that's a 300%. So, I'll check in with Lee when he's back. But yeah, anybody on the premium group still have their OP short from that one? Lee actually got that one beautifully at the top there. Get back to this one. You see, this is what I wanted to see there. Faster. Just joined waiting for the short, but now I'm basically losing my short now. Now it's very dumping now. Okay, come on. Get back in there that I can get my entry. There's the measured move. So just pull back a little bit. I want to get in there. I still want to have that short. Got screwed over tonight, guys. I really apologize. It seems like we're missing all the big ones. Look at this. It's going to go right there now. Thank you. This is my evening. I'm going to call it a night. And I'm never, ever going to touch that Jinxed account again because everything I do there just gets chopped up. Come on, ETH. Give me just one little breather. At least some of you guys have got the short. We haven't lost money yet, buddy. I'm still waiting for that entry. It's gonna come. Let's just keep our fingers crossed. It's gonna come. It maybe misses us and messes us around, but if you're patient enough, you'll get your opportunity. So it's gonna come. Let's just give it some time. But I'm happy that you enjoyed it. We want to do these regularly. I mean, regularly, I mean daily. You can delete the gone line, just clean up this chart a little bit because it's really, really messy. And I'm just going to take this green, this thick line, make it a little thin. This is the range we're chopping, and this is the range I wanted to get the trade in to leave. So I'm just going to make it nice and thin now. And measured move lines up. Come on, man. Just get there. Get there. Close to that level I can get in. Come on, this one still needs to go and get rejected, so I'm still gonna give it a little bit of time. Hopefully I'll get that one. I want to break this jinxed accounts back. Can't believe it, man. Look, this is the exact opposite. Phantom, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever the case. What we had over there is, you remember when we had the short? We had the short sitting there, and then once it moved into that invalidation level, price jumped. Because why? Because that's everybody's forced stops to buy. Now we're sitting in the same area, but this is an even bigger validation level. Anybody that longed this area, even longed there, they're hiding their stops here. So their forced stops to sell basically accelerated price down. Now we want to see price get rejected from this level. That's what I'm waiting for. I want to get that rejection. And I know that the momentum's going down. This is a really good sell-off. Now's the time to look for a short. Just give it some time, because if I now really want to look at this, this is a really steep angle. That's a really good angle. There's so many lines, it's getting so clustered, and that's why we kind of have big screens, guys, so that we can actually put these things on, because it's really messy. I'm going to try and do it now like this. Go, say that's the bounce point there. And normally what I do is, this one I don't have it, but once I've drawn it once, you can actually just do it somewhere else. Once I've drawn it once, I can always reuse the box, because it's the same as the support eye and the demand lines that I use. You just need to have it once, and then you'll always have it. So then it will always work. So we can use that level there, and you can see how it will always be significant. That's unique to Ethereum. If I'm looking at that angle there, and I'm going to just move it in that range there, just to get the scaling right on the fib levels. There it sits over there. Maybe what I'll do is I'll use that range there. There's a bit more confluence around that level there. Boom. There we go. So that would be my box. I won't need to draw a new one. I can use that one. So those will be all the fin lines that we can use. So if I were to, this is now a really small time frame. Actually, kind of ridiculous to do it this way, but there's the mindset behind it. Getting above that area, getting rejected. So I want to try and see. Probably, I don't think price will go in there. Gets back in there, you've got a chance to do it. But I mean, anything from where we are now to above this level would be a good area to short. So I see this idiot's back again. Know why they're targeting us? Because we've got like a 99% male audience, according to YouTube, probably. Okay, time to get into this one. Let's quickly see. Five minutes, we're still creating a new range of chop. Remember now, hourly. The goal to trade this thing down. So we'll probably, because this is chopping, it's scalping, guys. You're just gonna do this until it finally leaves. So you need to remember that. It's gonna always be tricky. to trade what the market gives us. And at this stage, don't want to see the supply get broken. So I need to market execute my ass in now before this thing runs away with me again. Invalidation would be to try, I don't want to see it get above this level here. So sacrificing my position now, but I'm just going to show you guys there, validation. I don't want to see it get above that level. We can probably go back down to these ranges over here. Okay, so, and this is off the back that Bitcoin gives us a rejection at some stage, hopefully as well, and go lower. So we've got a lot that we need to factor in here. We do that. This supply level here, give us some confluence. We got that supply level there that we're playing. So now there's like a mesh of 10,000 lines. I'm just going to take the Ghana away and take the fib away. Clean it out. So I don't want to see us get above that level. So I want to wait till we get as close as we can to that. Use this line. Probably use that on a later stage as a little crazy wick, but I want to use that to try and get in. The end of the idea is this is now the move. We need to start rejecting around these levels, or else it's just let it dud for a day. And then just as a reminder, that is a classic. In 2 minutes, this 1 hour is going to close. This is a Darth Maul candle. That's why we really chose the wrong 2 hours to trade, guys. It takes the longs, takes the shorts, and then it decides to do what it needs to do. So sometimes when this happens, don't give up. Just let it do its thing. 2 minutes left. So let's just wait 2 minutes. 2 minutes time. If we can close below this level, come on, that's going to be a significant one there for the hourly. 2 more minutes. Come on, 2 minutes. $55 seconds. Come on. Come on, 12 seconds. There we go, 50. Now we need to reject it. Right, now we want to reject. So I've got an hourly close below this level. So let's see. Bigger time frame is going to be in our friend now. I've got my Bybit short in. I don't have my Prime, the Jinxed account short in. Hopefully we get another little stab up there. So come on, go stab it. Let's see. So the Bybit one, I gave a little bit of a wider berth because we're running quite late. It's like 9. I'll jump in on stream again in about 5 hours. So I want to get that short in. So the Bybit short, I've actually got about 1890. So I gave myself a little bit of breathing room. So this thing can wick into this area here. I'm fine. I don't want to get there. And the Prime XBT one is yet to be filled. So I'm going to give it the same breathing room. Thing is, I'm going to have to leave now. And hopefully we can get that in. So now it's going to get filled. It's almost full. It's filled. Okay, great. So both of them are filled. I'm going to use this area here as typical. This thing's just going to mess us about. So it's probably going to dive up there now. So I want to try and use that area as, giving it breathing range. So my stop sitting right there in that range there. We do have enough confluence here so that we can hopefully bounce around this area. And then if this thing gets rejected, because we do have this hourly now that's playing in our favor, the hourly opening there. And if we go on to the 4 hour, let's see what we've got on the 4 hour. 4 hour open below this level now. So I want to see in an hour's time, it's going to close below this level. And then that's going to then cement in this bearishness that I'm trying to get. Third time's the charm. Keep your fingers crossed for me, guys. So if that cements it in, then we can go. Then we can go. So 60 more minutes to wait. Let's see what this thing does. But I'm done messing with this thing. It's now going to have to do its thing. Okay, so I'm not in 50%. I'm in 25%. Remember? Or 33%. Depends on the different exchanges and the maths they make it easy for me to do in my head. I want to nibble in at it. I'm not going to try and get my whole account to do one big thing at the moment. It's irrelevant. Taking small little stabs, small little buys, and then at the end of the day, that's going to then get laddered in. So in 3-4 hours time, I'll come back and we created a new structure down here. I can then start looking for the next one, which is going to be easier because I'm going to give myself an even bigger breathing room. And then I'll have a good position, some good profit to build on. Right. Let's quickly see in the comments section. Yes, it can do that. Call out the levels, waiting for my sell. Okay, so the level is I am in the moment taking the short on the hourly. We still have 1 hour left for the 4 hour to close below 1886. Stop limit is hidden. I've hit my stop limit about at around 1890 in this area because I do have additional structure at 1886 where there's resistance. So any short would be fine. I want to try and hold this gap because it's going to chop. This thing's been chopping all night. So I'm rather just going to plan for chop and then be okay if it misses. So I'm fine to carry this thing. If it chops, I don't want to carry it if it chops above 1890 because then it's in this structure and then we're out of this trend line. Remember now, this is now, let me just bring this over. This is now our new supply. That's where supply is now kicking in. Okay. So by the time we get there, I would hope and this is now what we're going to have to wait and see. I would hope in an hour's time, if we can do that, that's going to be what? Roughly about there. Let's just put a vertical range, this roughly about there. And then we've got the supply that's playing in. So hopefully we take a slow grind up to that level. Let's wait and see what it does. But that's the goal. So shorting, right? I shorted, market executed, and limit executed on Prime XBT. And I think my average price, let's quickly bring them up. Let's see. Break even at the moment. My Bybit shorts literally break even at the moment. Entry price 1868. And the Prime XBT one is sitting in profit 1873. So that is the full price of the two different versions. There's our bloody jinxed one now, 1873. So we're sitting in, and I want to build a position around this level. Stop limit sitting right there, 1890. So yeah, I'm going to monitor this. I don't want to see it move into the structure over here. It can chop around here, it's fine, but that's going to be like a hard rule here. If it goes above this 1888 thereabout, it's creating troubles for us. So that's going to be the goal there. Okay, so MEXC chart, but it comes with the territory. I hope that sorts you out with specifying the price, showing you where I hit my stop limit, which is no longer hidden because you guys know. So I'm going to probably have to go and tweak it a little bit because I don't want big orders sitting at 1890, which would probably be moving it up maybe $2 or something like that. That's the nice thing about futures. You can actually change it a little bit. And then that's it. S&P rejecting from major resistance. See what you're saying there. Let's get the price. Right. Yeah, tricky thing. Boom. There's a big area there. You're sitting right in that range here. So if it gets above that level, it's definitely going to start messing a lot of people around. That would be the next range. So hopefully it does reject, because I really want my short to get in, give me some breathing room here. Otherwise, it's just going to keep on chopping my ass. So yeah, 51 minutes, I'll know. So let's wait and see. BTC, same thing at the moment. It's chopping. So I'm planning for BTC to rather go a little bit higher and giving it a little bit of wider berth. Still only going to take 1% on the trading capital on this one. Yeah, that's it. Worry about the TPs once this thing runs. I'm going to take it level for level. I'm not going to try and get too aggressive. It's more about getting the short. Remember the big picture TP. If I look at this on the daily, I want to see Ethereum, the previous highs is the structure's lows. So I want to trade short down to these areas. So if Ethereum wants to go on, that's great. And if it fails and just falls through the floor, I want to be in my short to enjoy that run, and they know that I can actually squeeze it and make it a swing. And if you think about it, if you take this little one and we get lucky, maybe we get lucky and that is the one, and ETH goes down there, I mean, that's a bloody good swing. So that's what I'm looking for. I like to trade swing. We're in a situation where there's 50% level, we're getting a rejection, we need to go test this. We've been chopped up like crazy the whole stream to try and get our asses down there. So hopefully this is the one. Fingers crossed. If not, I'll have to fight another one. That's the idea. And that's it. So yeah, you guys got it. The whole thing summed up in a few minutes. 3-hour stream. It was fun talking to you guys, and we're going to do another live stream pretty soon. So if you're new, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification. So when we do these streams, you actually get notified. We try and plan them 30 minutes beforehand so that there's actually time for the notifications to get through to you guys. But yeah, no use watching that And this is a final thought. If you're late, no use rewinding and watching unless you want to learn and see a little few things. But these live type streams doesn't really have a lot going for them other than watching them live and participating live with us. What I am liking while I'm back in this, we are now finally getting wicks in the other direction. We're getting selling down pressure. This is good. You know, when we were here, we had the wicks there and the flat bottoms there. Now we're getting the wicks on the correct side. Market executing, selling down. So give it some breathing room. Hopefully it keeps on selling until we end up exhausting this demand that's currently still acting out on price. And then, yeah, right, guys. Cheers, each and every one of you guys. I really want to thank you guys for spending the time with me. It was awesome. Looking forward to the next one. And yeah, get yourself over to Discord if you haven't, but I would imagine all you guys are already on Discord. So yeah, cheers everybody. Have a good evening and see you soon.